He's in training. If you did not receive a paper, raise your hand. We got papers. Who's got papers? Who's got papers or somebody over there? Do you want to read these? Huh? We'll read all three of them. Yep, it's fill in the blank. We're going to fill all of them in so we can get started with something else. Today we're talking about adoption. We're in a series right now of the advantages of becoming a Christian. And one of those advantages, the first one I chose, is adoption. So if you get ready to fill in your paper, Miss Deb's going to read them, and she's got the answers if you don't.
First one is Ephesians 1, verse 5. In love, God predestined us to be adopted as His sons through Jesus. Jesus was the blank. The second one is 2 Corinthians 6, verse 18. I will be a father to you, and you will be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty. And the third one, Romans 8, verse 23. We anxiously await for that day when God will give us our full rights as His children, including the new bodies He has promised us.
This is all talking about us becoming children of God. Wow, that is just like super. You like it too, don't you? If you don't know, this is Isaac. Isaac is one of the stars in the Passion Play story of Jesus, story of Noah. He only works 10 nights a year for about 3 minutes each night. And he has to practice for that a few times, but that's his paying job. In the off season, which is from this year's story of Jesus, is the last weekend in March and every weekend in April. That's when he'll go back to work. But every once in a while, we have to remind him that he's still a horse and has a job. So I have a pretty special bond with him, and we're going to be using him for the next few weeks for different events. We've actually got a horse chiropractor because he's about as out of whack as I am. We need chiropractors pretty often. You're getting into my space a little bit, though. And he lives at another preacher's house, Mike Graham, which is the president and founder of Power and Light Productions. And Mike Graham is not a horse person. They dump feed into a trough twice a day, and someone else comes and does his feed. That's it. And it's probably been, I don't know, Kathy and I argued over how long it's been. It's been since the play, since he's had a bit in his mouth. And we're going to talk about some of the problems when a horse has not been ridden in several weeks, or in this case, months. And they want to argue with you. You know, I've said for a long time, I can deal with a lot of things, but what I do not deal with is a horse, dog, or a child arguing with me. Now, we can discuss it and talk about it. Oh, don't argue with me. I don't do well with arguments. And this is just a good way. When you get on a horse that hasn't been ridden in a long time, they want to root their nose out because they don't want you pulling on them. And we're going to discuss some different ways. Different trainers will call them different things, called bitting them up, bitting them under. You know, there's just all kind of different ways to let a horse go through this on their own. One of the things that I want to talk to you about in adoption is a little close. Just a little bit more.
He's been missing you.
I hope you understand that we are here on Hillsborough County Fairgrounds at their mercy. Our only payment is volunteer hours. And they wanted a lot of those volunteer hours during the fair. And I just want to read off, because some of you don't know, I just want to share with you what some of the things that Cowboy Ministry has done. Because what I want is for them to adopt us. And I really feel like we got there because the Tampa Bay Bandits How long have they been coming here? How long has the Bandits called us home? 4 years? Okay, and the Hillsborough Mounted Sheriff's Department, Mounted Posse, how long have they been here?
Probably 6.
6 years? Well, they're on their website. Cowboy Ministries right beside them now. And yeah, that's absolutely. It makes me feel like maybe they've adopted us. We have not been here a year yet. We actually started in January of this year. And as you can see, there's a whole great big light show fixing to go on between now and Christmas. But I want to share with you a few things that Cowboy Ministry has done. And, you know, actually it was about 13 months ago, Deb Hunt asked Tom, he's the fair manager, if we could meet here each week with a horse. And he said, sure, let's talk about it after the fair. Because fairs are a pretty big thing. And he said, we're looking for volunteers. In fact, we got 100 brand new trash cans that need wheels and handles put on them. And holes cut into the top of the, you're getting too close. And we did that last year. Put out some red mulch and help with parking last year. We weren't even here. So they were sure right then that we would be pretty good helpers. I want to share with you a few things that went on. This year we had volunteers that mowed and weed eated from the dragline bucket to here almost every week. You know, there's a group of you. You know who you are. Every week they were here. Some pressure washed all of the bleachers, all of the sidewalks, the handicap parking. Pressure washing just went crazy around here. Some repaired signs, rebuilt signs. Some built fence. Some cleaned bathrooms. Some set up chairs. Some took down chairs. Some set up sound for 10 different events during the fair. That was Cowboy Ministry sound stuff. Some helped with a whip popping contest. Some, like Dusty, built all the whips that they gave away. Some put out 25 truckloads of water. Why couldn't it have rained back then? You know, many put in several hours in the parking lot, parking cars and fighting mosquitoes. You know who you are. Let's just say the fair committee is very proud of Cowboy.